Hey everyone! We have undertaken a pretty long journey of the plant kingdom, starting from the water-dwelling microscopic algae to these majestic conifers. But to your surprise, we are still left with discussion of 80% of the known living plants. Surprising? Yes, it is. But definitely, guys, we are still left to discuss majority of the plants which make this plant kingdom so alluring and beautiful too. And what am I talking about? Well, I am talking about the angiosperms. Yes, we are yet to discuss these angiosperms which make majority of the plant kingdom. So come on, in this session, let's talk about the angiosperms. Now we know that the seed-bearing plants or the spermatophytes are of two types, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Now guys, gymnosperms, as we know, are those seeded plants which have naked seeds, and these seeds are not enclosed in fruits or flower. But what are angiosperms? Well, angiosperms are those seeded plants in which seeds are enclosed in fruits, and reproductive structures like ovules and pollens are found in specialized structures called flowers. And guys, because of the formation of flowers, the angiosperms are also called the flowering plants. Friends, angiosperm is an exceptionally large group, and it has some very advanced plants that are found in almost every habitat on Earth. Yes, these angiosperms can be found in every environment of the Earth. However, C is an exception where only two angiosperms are found, which are Zostera and Thalassia. So guys, you can find an angiosperm in permanently frozen Antarctica too, and also you can find them in very hot deserts. Guys, apart from this, the angiosperms also range in their sizes. Yes, there is a variety in their sizes too, and they range in size from this tiny microscopic Wolffia plant out here, which has size of 0.1 centimeter, to this large eucalyptus tree, which has size of 100 meter. Guys, the main plant body of an angiosperm is a sporophyte. Yes, this sporophytic main plant body is divided into 4 parts. And these 4 parts, as we all know, and even a kid knows, that these 4 parts are roots, stem, leaves and flowers. Now guys, the roots, stem and the leaves, these 3 portions form the vegetative or non-reproductive parts of an angiosperm plant, which means that these are the primary organs which do not participate in reproduction. But flower is the reproductive part of an angiosperm. Let's talk about these one by one for a brief outlook. So guys, the stem is an aerial axis, and this stem performs the function of transfer of water and minerals from roots to different parts of the plant, and also transfer of food from the leaves to different parts of the plant. So where is the food synthesized? Yes, the leaves. Leaves are the main site of food synthesis in an angiospermic plant, and these leaves photosynthesize to produce starch as their food, which is transferred by the branches of the stem to different portions of the plant. Now coming to the roots. Roots, as we all know, they anchor the plant. Also, they help in absorption of water and minerals from the soil. But apart from this, the roots are also storage area for food in some cases. So guys, these 3 structures were majorly the vegetative portions, right? Now, the roots along with all the other types of small roots together form the root system. The different types of roots are fibrous roots, tap roots and adventitious roots. And all these roots together form the root system of the plant. And the stem and the leaves, they form the shoot system of the plant. Now guys, You know that these stems, leaves as well as roots, they show variety in their morphology. Yes, there are different types of stems, there are different types of roots, and also there are variety of leaves in different plants. And also their inside structure also varies, which is known as anatomy. So we will be studying about the morphology and anatomy of these plant parts of angiosperms in our upcoming chapters. So here we know that the major differentiating feature is the flower. Now before we dig deeper into flower, let me tell you that we know that the plant have vascular tissues, like even gymnosperms had it, the pteridophytes also had it. So the angiosperms also have good well-developed vascular system which is made of xylem and phloem. Yes, the xylem and phloem and different cells associated with them are also present in angiosperm plants. Along with this, the big angiosperm trees that you see, they are because of the secondary growth that is present in them because of the presence of cambium. We will be discussing the secondary growth also when we study about the morphology and anatomy of these flowering plants. So now comes the reproductive portion. Yes friends, the reproductive portion is not only the flower. The fruit and the seeds together, they form the reproductive portion of an angiospermic plant. And now, obviously, these three portions are the ones which differentiate an angiosperm from an gymnosperm. So guys, let us now dig deeper into a flower found in an angiosperm plant. But guys, before I explain you a flower, let me just ask you a question. Do you remember sporophylls? Yes, I'm talking about the same sporophylls which aggregated together in gymnosperms to form a cone, the modified leaves. Yes, in case of angiosperms also, we have sporophylls. And in angiosperms, the sporophylls aggregate together to form a beautiful flower. Now, an angiospermic flower is divided into 4 parts: green sepals, colored petals, a stamen and a carpel. Now, we know about sepals and petals. So let us talk about the stamens and the carpel. Guys, the stamen and the carpel of an angiosperm plant are nothing but the male microsporophylls and the female megasporophylls respectively. Yes guys, the stamen is modified microsporophyll, the male microsporophyll. So this stamen, which is a modified male microsporophyll, consists of a filament, which is a stalk-like structure. And on the top of filament, there is an anther. Now guys, this anther contains microspores inside them, which are also called pollen grains. And inside the pollen grains are found male gametes. Coming to the modified megasporophyll. Now guys, the modified megasporophyll gets twisted and aggregated to form a carpel. Now this carpel also consists of 3 parts. So, it has a sticky stigma, a stalk-like style, and a rounded ovary. This rounded ovary contains ovules inside it. And what are present inside the ovules? Yes, the female gametes. But ovules are specialized in case of angiosperms, so let's look at them. The ovules of angiosperms are specialized structures which contain outer integument, inner nutritive nucellus, and a female gametophyte. Yes friends, within the ovule, female gametophyte is present, which is also known as embryo sac. This embryo sac is highly reduced and comprises 8 haploid cells. Out of these 8 haploid cells, one of the cell is the female egg cell and the other cells are accessory cells. So fertilization takes place inside the ovule. The ovule later on maturation gets converted into seed, and the ovary, which contains the seeds inside it, forms fruit. So guys, this is the reason the flowering plants are called angiosperms, because the seeds in them are covered inside the fruit. Now friends, the angiosperms are further divided into two main classes. Can you guess those classes? I'm sure you have studied them in your lower classes. Yes, the dicots and the monocots. And what is this division based on? Yes, again the seed. So, on the basis of the seed, the angiosperms have been divided into monocot and dicots. And guys, these monocots and dicots differ in variety of structural features, like their leaves are different, their stem is also different, their roots are different, and also the flowers that they bear are different. But where lies the major difference? Yes, the difference starts from the beginning of the plant life cycle. That is, from the seed which contains the embryo. So guys, those angiospermic plants which contain two seed leaves or embryonic leaves, or in simple terms two cotyledons, are called dicotyledonous plants. And those angiospermic plants which have single embryonic leaf or cotyledon are called monocotyledonous plants. Now guys, the dicots and the monocots vary in other structures too, which I already mentioned. So let us understand the difference between dicots and monocots with the help of this table. So the first difference is in the structure of their leaves. Yes guys, the venation in the leaves is different for monocots and dicots. So guys, venation means arrangement of veins in the leaves. In case of monocots, the arrangement of veins is parallel. So, the venation is found which is known as parallel venation in case of monocots. Like in grasses and maize, you can see the leaves have parallel veins in them. Whereas in dicots, irregular distribution of veins is present and they form a network. So, a network form of venation is found which is known as reticulate venation. The dicots have reticulate venation, and the plants which have reticulate venation are the tulsi, hibiscus, the mango plant, etc. The next point of differentiation is in the stem of monocots and dicots. Yes friends, the vascular tissues which are present in the stem of monocots and dicots are also different. In case of monocots, the vascular tissues are closed and they are scattered. Yes, the vascular bundles are scattered in the stem and they are closed. Closed means that there is no layer of fascicular cambium between the xylem and phloem. Now you must be thinking, what is fascicular cambium? So guys, fascicular cambium is actually a round ring-like layer which is present between the phloem and xylem, and it is responsible for increase in thickness of the plant. So here in monocots there is no fascicular cambium and consequently there is no increase in thickness, which means that secondary growth is absent in monocots. Now coming to the dicots. Guys, in dicots the vascular bundles are open and arranged like a ring, so they are not scattered. And open means that they have a ring of fascicular cambium between the xylem and phloem. As a result, they cause increase in the thickness of the plant stem. So, secondary growth is found in case of dicot plants. Moving to the next difference, which is in the roots of monocots and dicots. So friends, monocots' roots are usually fibrous roots, which means that these roots form a bunch and they web off in different directions. These roots usually occupy upper level of the soil and they are not deeply rooted inside the soil. Whereas the dicot roots are tap roots, which means that they have one main root, which is the tap root, and branches arise from these tap roots. So this type of root system digs deeper inside the soil and therefore dicots are deeply rooted inside the soil. The next feature of difference is the difference in the flowers of monocots and dicots. Guys, in case of monocots, the flowers are usually trimerous. Trimerous means that the floral parts are usually 3 in number or in multiples of 3. So the floral parts, they are usually 3 or in multiples of 3. Whereas in case of dicots, the floral parts are pentamerous or tetramerous, which means the floral parts are either 5 or 4 or in multiples of 5 or 4. So friends, these were the main differences between monocots and dicots. Now, I'm pretty sure that you are pretty acquainted with the general features of angiosperms and the two types of angiosperms, which are dicots and monocots. So guys, let us conclude this session on general features of angiosperms, and I can't wait to move further in our neat journey and talk about morphology and anatomy of these angiosperms. Till then, let us quickly summarize whatever we have learned in this session. The spermatophytes or seed-bearing plants are of two types, gymnosperms and angiosperms. Angiosperms are those seeded plants which have seeds enclosed in fruit and pollen and ovule found inside a structure known as flower. The main angiospermic plant body is sporophytic, and it is divided into 4 parts, which are root, stem, leaves and flowers. The flower, fruit and seed form the reproductive structures of angiosperms. The flowers are formed by aggregation of the sporophylls, and flower has 4 parts, which are green sepals, colored petals, stamen and carpel. The stamen and carpel are the male microsporophylls and female megasporophylls respectively. The ovules in angiosperms are specialized structures containing outer integument, inner nutritive nucellus and female gametophytes, also known as embryo sacs, which contain 8 haploid cells. The ovules mature to form seeds of angiosperms, and the ovary containing the seeds form the fruits in case of angiosperms. The angiosperms are divided into 2 main classes on the basis of their seeds, which are monocots and dicots. Monocots are those angiosperms which have single cotyledon in their seeds, leaves with parallel venation, stem containing closed vascular bundles which are scattered, roots which are fibrous and flowers which are trimerous. Whereas the dicots are those angiosperm plants which have double cotyledon or 2 cotyledons in their seeds, leaves with reticulate venation, stem containing open vascular bundles in a ring-like form, roots which are taproots and flowers which are pentamerous or tetramerous.